The show must go on, albeit with a few alterations. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 TV shows that have adjusted to quarantine life.
We were just watching Trolls, so this is Branch and this is Poppy.
Hi.
Can you say hi?
For this list, we're looking at shows that have found a way to reach viewers while still maintaining distance during quarantine. Number 10, Conan. The world needs laughter now more than ever, and late-night hosts have fortunately found a way to keep bringing the funny.
That was the least professional opening I've ever done for a TV show.
The catch is that most of them are doing their shows from home. When you're Conan O'Brien, though, you don't need a live audience or a camera crew. All that's required is a quirky sense of humor and an iPhone.
Oh, Conan.
Andy, yeah. Oh, good to see you, buddy.
Conan isn't alone either, as he continues to banter with sidekick Andy Richter and interview guests like Adam Sandler through video chat.
You still have a staff in your home.
I have 170 people here.
You can't do that at this time, Conan.
Really? No one told me.
If you want to forget about your worries for a little bit, Conan has you covered with his trademark goofy comedy, plus a bedtime story for the kids.
The years of Lyndon Johnson. So Mom, Dad, go take a break. Here we go.
Even when quarantined, Conan maintains a lively attitude and even livelier head of hair.
Now that the kids are asleep, it's our time.
Number 9, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. You know that late night is being shaken up when Stephen Colbert trades in his desk for a bathtub.
I was going to use my rich person bunker, but it turns out the guys from Parasite are living down there. Really nice folks.
In addition to the change of scenery, you might have noticed that the title changed to A Late Show shortly after Colbert started taking work home with him. While it's not the Late Show experience we've come to expect, Colbert is as hilarious as ever, which is what matters most.
I demand the butthole cut of Avengers. That's the real end game.
As per usual, Colbert is keeping us up to date with topical humor, ranging from politics to the butthole cut of cats. Colbert has also used his show as a platform to spread a universal message.
We can still disagree about many things, but this crisis has driven home, literally home, the truth that this is one great nation.
There aren't any red states or blue states now, just pale states. And we're all in this together, even when self-isolating. Number 8, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Given everything that's going on in the world right now, watching Last Week Tonight every Sunday has become almost therapeutic. John Oliver is a comedian who not only makes us laugh, but also makes us think.
Take this capybara with an orange on its head. It seems excellent. But if Trump were to repeatedly say, "I love that capybara with an orange on its head," you just know we're about to find out all the times that it wore blackface in college.
While it's the comedy that draws us in, we walk away from each show wiser. During these uncertain times, Oliver has educated his viewers on how the pandemic has impacted the workforce, the media, and the government.
If help takes months to come, that's not going to save a business set to go under in weeks.
Most importantly, though, Oliver has introduced us to the art of Brian Swords, shining a spotlight on his intimate rat paintings. Just remember, if Oliver could track down Stay Up Late, arguably Sword's magnum opus, then anything's possible. Hope really can be found in the most unlikely of places.
Because I want that piece of art hanging behind me on this wall next week. And if I don't get it, I will keep looking for it. Because this is America.
Number 7, Desus and Mero. Before making the leap to Showtime, Desus Nice and the Kid Mero gained a following through their podcast and web series. So doing an at-home version of their late-night talk show doesn't seem like the biggest stretch.
Yeah, they're like, "Are you guys on vacation?" And then somebody else is like, "Have you opened a newspaper lately?"
That said, Desus and Mero are a comedy duo, meaning the show relies on their interactions. While this presented some difficulties, the two made it work with Desus operating in his sneaker room and Mero setting up shop in his weed-smoking basement.
I'm covered in Jesus' blood.
You're covered in what? I don't... Just go to Jesus' blood.
I don't think that's a form of insurance, lady.
Despite being in different locations, the chemistry between them is still present. Watching these guys every week feels like catching up with some good friends, reminding us that just because we're social distancing doesn't mean we can't find other ways to socialize.
This is the tenderest Zoom
It
I've ever participated in.
This is.
We love you.
This is the most wholesome Zoom that has ever happened on their platform.
Number 6, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah left his studio audience on a high note, but he won't be saying goodbye to TV audiences anytime soon. Like The Late Show, The Daily Show has gone through a name change to reflect the current times.
And I know if you live in New York, you're probably like, yeah, but Trevor, that town only had 3,000 people in it. That's how many roommates I have. But still, it shows that the key to stopping coronavirus is testing.
Nevertheless, the daily social distancing show still finds Noah delivering the top headlines with dry wit and biting commentary. Dulce Sloan, Roy Wood Jr., and other correspondents are keeping in touch from home as well.
All the anchors are broadcasting from their homes now. So if you don't listen to what they're saying and just look at the backgrounds, it's like the worst version of Cribs.
Noah has also done video chats with some of this pandemic's most significant figures, from Bill Gates to Dr. Anthony Fauci. It's imperative that we all stay well informed right now. Making these interviews essential viewing.
It's not like when a war comes and we've done, 20 simulations of various types of threats.
Honestly, you're inclined to learn more from Noah than from some actual news shows. Number 5, Jimmy Kimmel Live. Stuck at home, Trevor Noah joked that he's never been happier not to have any kids. Jimmy Kimmel, on the other hand, has 2 young children at home, and it really shows.
Who are the sisters in Frozen? Are they Sasha and Malia? Kylie and Kendall? Mary, Kate and Ashley? Or Anna and Elsa?
Anna and Elsa.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That is the correct answer. Very good.
Although he's clearly getting tired of watching Frozen 2, Kimmel's family is giving him plenty of material to work with. Kimmel's also pulling comedy gold from the comments section, poking fun at his own appearance.
Well, thank you, Jenny. I really appreciate that. I am not stoned. I'm not drunk. I'm just ugly, I guess.
The quarantine hasn't halted Kimmel's interview segments either, most notably saying goodbye to the Modern Family cast.
Are you
I like
wearing
that.
pants
It's like
right now?
Ed, are
like
you
a
wearing
great
pants?
veteran athlete.
I'm
You
wearing
learn-
shorts.
Of course, Kimmel's funniest guest during quarantine would have to be Samuel L. Jackson, who has a message we should all take to heart.
The Rona is spreading. This is no joke. It's no time to work or roam. The way you can fight it is simple, my friends. Just stay the at home.
Above all else, Kimmel has kept up morale with his lighthearted humor and charity donations. Number 4, Late Night with Seth Meyers. Quarantine life has raised countless questions, but there's one in particular that's kept us wide awake at night. What's up with the tiny door in Seth Meyers' attic?
Or maybe, it's a Malkovich door.
Well, we can assure you that he doesn't imprison his children in there. They get locked in the closet.
Wait, who? Oh, who let you out?
In all seriousness, Meyers has been one of the most informative late-night hosts during the pandemic. He may be social distancing, but that hasn't stopped him from taking a closer look.
Hold a grudge Jones over here is telling us we have to forget it and move on. The same guy who is still so mad at John McCain that he tweeted McCain was last in his class at Annapolis 7 months after he died.
If you haven't been following Donald Trump's press briefings, good old Seth will tell it like it is. He's also reunited with his SNL alumni via video chat, even resurrecting the Weekend Update segment Really with Seth and Amy.
He's a multitasker. He's a New Yorker. Back in the day, he could bankrupt 3 companies in the afternoon and still have the energy to yell at his housekeeper when she set his Tic Tacs out wrong.
Will Meyers ever finish reading the Thornbirds, though? Number 3, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon recorded the first installment of The Tonight Show at Home Edition with his wife behind the camera, his offspring helping out with the visual media, and their dog Gary serving as a guest.
Have you seen any good shows lately?
I've been watching this new one, Squirrel Outside the Window. Super binge-worthy. Can't wait to see what the squirrel does next.
Speaking of which, Gary sounds suspiciously like Drew Barrymore, doesn't she? Although he's far from the only late-night host working remotely, few have embraced home movie production values as much as Fallon.
This is how crazy New York traffic is. I'm doing the show from my living room, and I was still 20 minutes late getting in.
He's also been one of the most charitable hosts during this crisis, as well as one of the most musical.
So kiss me, I'm Irish, but stay 6 feet away, 'cause no one wants to get a virus on St. Patty's Day.
Fallon has been especially on top of social media with fun hashtag games like Quarantine a Movie.
This is from @WatchMojo said, "A star is bored."
We don't know about you, but we think A Star is Bored is a pretty ingenious title. Thanks for the shout out, Jimmy. Number 2, some good news. A Quiet Place Part 2 was one of the first major movies to be delayed due to the pandemic, which was the rotten cherry on top of a bad news Sunday. Rather than dwell on all the bad news, though, John Krasinski took this opportunity to create a show dedicated to good news.
Now, these men and women are working day in and day out. They are putting their own health on the lines. They are putting their own lives on the lines for complete and total strangers.
They might not make as many headlines, but these uplifting stories will make your day a little easier to get through.
In Maine, a local man bought 100 lobsters to help out a lobsterman. He then went to each one of his neighbors and delivered them a fully cooked lobster dinner.
Krasinski has gone beyond spreading heartfelt news. Along with wife Emily Blunt, he made a young Broadway fan's dream come true by reuniting the cast of Hamilton for an epic Zoom performance.
Then a hurricane came and devastation reigned. Our man saw his future dripping down the drain.
And until we get an official Office reunion, seeing Krasinski interview Steve Carell will more than do.
Just to see your face is so great.
I miss you a ton, man. It's so good to see you.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
This season of Atlanta reaches its red-hot conclusion next week, but in the meantime, you all at home have burning questions. It's time to lay it on us.
It's okay to watch mindless TV. It's okay to make TikTok videos with your kids. What is not okay is to congregate in large groups. It's not okay to still shake hands with people.
JC has an imaginary friend, and her name is Wendy Williams.
Yes, she does.
Is it me, Wendy Williams, or that just happens to be your name?
Yeah.
You know, if there's one takeaway from the videos the other late night hosts put out, it's that they have incredible homes. But I can do you one better. I've got a woodshed. Why? Because I've been preparing for something like this for years.
BTS are here. It's so good to see you, boys.
Hi, James. We're doing well. It's so good to see you too.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. WatchMojo.
Tell us what you've been up to. Let us know what's going on. I have cat hair on my hand.
Just kidding. Although we are working from home too. I'm in my closet right now. Number 1. Saturday Night Live. A talk show is one thing, but how can an ensemble piece like SNL adjust to quarantine life?
We're not cut out for this. I thought this computer only did solitaire.
How about a sketch about a Zoom conference call gone awry, or another that turns to animation with the middle-aged Mutant Ninja Turtles?
They used to be so cool. Now they drive to spoil kids to school. Middle-aged Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's gonna be an interesting era for SNL, and while it's now not technically a live show, all the essential pieces are present, including the whole cast, musical accompaniment, and a celebrity host. In an inspiring comeback, Tom Hanks demonstrated the power of laughter and perseverance by hosting the first SNL at home.
And ever since being diagnosed, I have been more like America's dad than ever before, since no one wants to be around me very long, and I make people uncomfortable.
The episode also saw the return of Larry David as Bernie Sanders.
Always a bridesmaid, never the Democratic nominee.
And Alec Baldwin, who's still playing Trump with or without a hair and makeup crew.
Well, I'm happy to report, Colin, that America is now #1 in the world for coronavirus.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.